Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to completely shift your understanding of pool chemistry. Seriously, if you've ever felt like you're caught in a never-ending battle with your pool water, trust me, you are not alone. Today, we're breaking down the science from our source materials to save you time, money, and, honestly, endless frustration. Let's get right into it.
So, why are you always fighting your pool's pH? Let's dive into this universal frustration. Why does it feel like you're literally pouring acid into your pool every single week, only to watch the pH shoot right back up a few days later? It's like playing a game you just can't win, right?
Well, for decades, we've been taught this one specific rule in the pool industry. We've been told that we must aggressively control our pH because pH controls chlorine strength. But does it really? Today, we're exposing a massive industry myth. We're answering once and for all, does chasing that perfect 7.2 to 7.6 pH actually control your chlorine strength in an outdoor pool? Spoilers, probably not the way you think.
Section 1. The Great pH Myth.
It turns out decades of textbooks have gotten this completely wrong. The old rule? It said a lower pH means a stronger, faster-killing chlorine. But our sources reveal a massive plot twist. The new rule is that cyanic acid, commonly known as CYA or pool stabilizer, completely hijacks that relationship. It dictates your chlorine strength, not pH. You see, if you have CYA in your water, and almost all outdoor pools do just to protect the chlorine from the sun, well, pH is no longer the boss of your chlorine. CYA is.
Moving on to Section 2. The CYA Takeover.
Context really matters here to understand how this takeover actually happens. Look, in an indoor, non-stabilized pool, so a pool without any CYA, pH absolutely controls your active chlorine, scientifically known as HOCl. But the moment you step outdoors and add CYA to a stabilized pool, the game fundamentally changes. The CYA literally binds to the chlorine to protect it from sunlight. And by doing so, it makes pH practically irrelevant to how strong your chlorine is. It's wild, right?
Let's look at the sheer scale of this. We're talking 3% versus 50%. At a 7.5 pH, a pool without CYA has about 50% of its chlorine is active, fast-killing HOCl. But if you add just 30 parts per million of CYA, that active chlorine plummets to a shocking 3%. Just 3%. That is a staggering difference, and it completely shifts how we need to think about sanitization.
So at a molecular level, there's basically a tug of war happening. You've got your active, fast-killing state, hypochlorous acid, or HOCl. Then you have the weak, slow hypochlorite ion, or OCl-. But the real game changer is when chlorine binds to CYA to form chlorinated isocyanurates. Now, it's bound to protect it from the sun's UV rays, which is great, but the vast majority of it has to physically detach from the CYA to actually do any sanitizing. So CYA effectively acts like a giant parking brake on your chlorine.
Section 3. The FC to CYA ratio.
Okay, since we've established that pH isn't pulling the strings anymore, the real secret to ruling your pool is managing a specific ratio. The free-chlorine-to-Cyanuric acid ratio, or the FC to CYA ratio, is what actually dictates your active chlorine percentage. It's not just about having a certain amount of free chlorine. It's all about how much free chlorine you have in proportion to your CYA level. That's the key.
And to prove just how much CYA acts like that parking brake, let's look at public health protocols. 15 parts per million. The CDC recommends a maximum of just 15 ppm of CYA for commercial pools during well, let's just call it a fecal incident. Why so incredibly low? Because to kill tough parasites like crypto, you need high-speed killing power. If your CYA is higher than 15 ppm, killing those parasites through hyperchlorination becomes practically impossible, because the chlorine is just way too bound up and slow to do its job.
All right, Section 4. Physics, CO2, and pH.
Now that we've solved the whole chlorine puzzle, we have to ground this explainer in some hard physics. Specifically, a principle from 1803 called Henry's Law. Basically, this law dictates that at a constant temperature, the amount of a given gas dissolved in a liquid will eventually equalize with that same gas in the air above the liquid. So what does this mean for your pool? Well, the carbon dioxide dissolved in your pool water is desperately trying to equalize with the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere right above it. Let's break down how Henry's Law actually plays out in your backyard. Pools are naturally rich in dissolved CO2, but the atmosphere has much less CO2 than the pool. So the CO2 constantly off-gasses or escapes into the air. Think of your pool kind of like a carbonated soda going flat. As that dissolved carbon dioxide leaves the water, your pH naturally rises.
And any aeration, like spa jets, spillways, or waterfalls, well, that just shakes up the soda and accelerates the whole process. Meaning, you aren't doing anything wrong when your pH climbs. You're literally just watching physics happen in real time.
Oh, and if you own a salt pool, this aeration effect is happening on steroids. Saltwater pools generate chlorine gas through electrolysis, which dissolves and creates a basic hypochlorous acid. Not only is this basic, but the process itself creates tiny bubbles that strip out CO2 through aeration, naturally raising pH levels even further. This combination pushes the pH up so much faster in salt pools.
Section 5. The natural pH ceiling.
Because of Henry's law, this rising pH isn't just some runaway train heading for infinity. Look, when you add liquid acid into the pool, it forcefully lowers the pH, but it also destroys your total alkalinity in the process. You could also inject CO2 gas, which lowers pH with no change to alkalinity. But natural CO2 off-gassing, that simply raises the pH until it hits a specific equilibrium point, known as the natural pH ceiling, and there's no change to alkalinity. Once it hits that ceiling, it just stops.
I really want to pause here and validate your struggles with this extremely powerful quote right from our source material. Swimming pools naturally rise in pH. It's just physics, and it will continue to happen. You are not doing anything wrong. Unless you have an expensive, automated chemical injection system, it's physically impossible to keep a pool's pH strictly between 7.2 and 7.6 for an entire week. Let that sink in. You can officially let yourself off the hook.
Section 6. Contain, don't control. Now that we know we absolutely cannot beat the laws of physics, let's use them to our advantage. This requires a massive shift in mindset. Your new strategy is to stop desperately trying to control your pH with buckets of acid every week. Shift your mindset. Don't control your pH, contain it. You want to utilize that natural, predictable pH ceiling we just talked about.
To put this proactive strategy into action, our sources outline 3 simple steps. Step 1. Set your calcium hardness based on your water temperature to ensure a stable foundation. Step 2. Set your total alkalinity to between 60 and 70 parts per million. Because alkalinity dictates your pH ceiling, keeping it in this range limits that ceiling to something manageable. And step 3, simply adjust your pH weekly, allowing it to rise to its natural ceiling as long as it stays safely below 8.3. We want to keep it under 8.3 so we don't cause scaling and so your chlorine doesn't break away from the CYA and degrade in the sun.
Armed with the molecular science of CYA ratios and the hard physics of Henry's law, are you ready to stop fighting physics and start ruling your pool? Seriously, ask yourself, how much time, money, and stress are you going to save now that you're working with nature instead of fighting it? You no longer have to chase the impossible 7.2 pH dream. By containing your pH and managing your CYA ratio, you're not just maintaining a pool, you're mastering it. But hey, if the entire pool industry got the rules of pH and chlorine this wrong for decades, you kind of have to ask yourself, what other expensive maintenance myths are hiding in plain sight right in your backyard? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.